If you're having problems with your septic system and you're tired of spending so much money each year to have it pumped, then SeptiClean is the answer for you. SeptiClean is an advanced specially formulated blend of bacteria used in the treatment of home and commercial septic systems. The breakdown of waste in your system relies on biological activity of naturally occurring bacteria. SeptiClean restores the natural biological process in your septic system and boosts the existing biological activity. SeptiClean is completely safe on all plumbing and can help prevent expensive emergencies in pumping. SeptiClean has approximately 6 to 100 times the bacteria count of other leading off-the-shelf brands in a 1-year supply. SeptiClean comes in a water-soluble pack, which you flush down the toilet once a month with no mess or stress. Save time, money, and maintenance on your septic system. Find SeptiClean at Emporium True Value Hardware on Main Street in Sag Harbor or visit micro-tab.com. That's micro-tabb.com. Micro-tabb.com.
Crazy, I ain't gonna lie anymore. What you're feeling, there's a reason for. Oh, I'm gonna do right. Yeah, I've got to do right. Do I love you? Oh, you know I've tried. What you're after, you can't find in my eyes. Oh, I'm gonna do right. Yeah, I've got to do right.
This is Heart to Heart. Those are the dulcet tones of the one and only Dave Damiani. And you can hear this on his new album, which I acquired a CD of on Friday, and I have been enjoying this a great deal. There's only one working CD player left in our house, and it has been getting a workout. If you're not familiar with Dave Damiani, you are in for a treat, because when it comes to singers, songwriters, producers, and all-around great entertainers, there's nobody more enjoyable, more interesting, more entertaining than Dave Damiani. And we like him even more because he's gotten up even earlier to join me in studio. Hello, Dave.
Good to see you, Frank, and thank you for the wonderful introduction. That's really nice of you, man.
Oh, so I love this song. This is the first song on the new album, right?
First song on the new album, written by Kenny Loggins and Michael McDonald and David Foster, wrote the bridge. And I'm a huge fan of this music from the 80s, 70s, 90s. And, you know me from doing a lot of the stuff at the Friars Club.
Sure.
And a lot of the big band stuff that, Sinatra and Dean Martin and all that stuff. When I started listening to that music was about 30 years old, 35 years old in the 90s. Sinatra at the Sands in the 60s. Now this music that I'm doing is about 30, 35 years old.
Isn't that incredible? Doesn't that blow your mind?
It does, but this is the thing. We have to bring more people in. I mean, I love the fact, because I know that you're a historian, and I know that you love the old history, but we have to, especially in the jazz world, we have to bring people in that are like, the older, my crowd's dying off. A lot of the people that have been listening to me for 15, 20 years are, into their 70s and 80s, and they're passing away, or they're not, and all the kids today are I guess the last great songwriters that I believe in the 20th century are the people that are on this record.
Wow. So, tell me the name of the album.
Heart to Heart.
Heart to Heart, a very appropriate song for that album. If people can get it at davedamiani.com.
davedamiani.com. You can send me an email at dave@davedamiani.com, or you can go on Apple Music or Spotify, or you can put it on your playlist and stream it.
All right. What I love about this album is there's in the aftermath of Quincy Jones's passing, there's a couple of songs on here that are inspired by him and written by him. What do we have in terms of the Quincy Jones department?
Well, Quincy Jones, probably the most, I say, quintessential artist of our time, just passed away, and in the 20th century was responsible for some of the greatest albums. I mean, all the Michael Jackson, the first 3 albums Michael Jackson did. Ease On Down the Road, which I love. I've been listening to that from The Wiz. And he worked with Frank Sinatra on, at the Sands, and he did a lot of the arrangements for Frank Sinatra. Fly Me to the Moon. They were the first people to really record that song in 4. It was done as a waltz originally, and it's the first time that they really did that song as, a swing tune. And on this album, I did a song called Just Once from James Ingram. It was written by Cynthia Weil and Barry Mann. That was, I think, Song of the Year 1982, right before he released Thriller with Michael Jackson. And also, he produced Gimme the Night by George Benson.
Incredible. I mean, what a variety of musical contributions. I mean, that's something as a songwriter yourself, you have an appreciation for how difficult that is.
Yeah, and he wrote, I don't know if people know this, but he wrote the theme for Sanford & Son. And he wrote the...
I didn't know that until Matt Blaze played it on air.
Yeah, and then also the Soul Bossa Nova, which is the theme for Austin Powers. But right. He wrote that. I mean, a lot of people know that, but he also did In the Heat of the Night with Ray Charles. He wrote that song for the Sidney Poitier Academy Award-winning film. So
amazing. 30 minutes after the hour, this is The Other Side of Midnight. My guest is the one and only Dave Damiani. His new album is Heart to Heart. Great song, whether you're Quincy Jones fans or not. You mentioned how a lot of the music that I've heard you play and that we've talked about previously, and maybe some of the listenership has seen you perform, has been kind of that Sinatra era, Tony Bennett, that style. You're a younger guy, especially for when you started performing that kind of thing. What sparked your interest in the American Songbook? How'd you get into that?
Well, honestly, the first person that I really started listening to was George Benson, and this is like when I was in high school. I used to hear that song "This Masquerade" by Leon Russell, and I always loved "Gimme the Night." But I would listen to George Benson, and then when I started to listen to George Benson, I realized the guy was a jazz guitar player. And then I went back and I heard him do on Broadway, and then Motown, and then I realized that a lot of these guys that worked for the Motown were jazz musicians. So when I started discovering, there was a Michelob Light commercial that came out in about 1987 or 86 where Frank Sinatra was singing "The Way You Look Tonight." It's the first time I heard the song, and I just went bonkers. And then I just loved the song.
Well, that was a Miller Lite commercial, wasn't it?
It was Michelob.
Oh, it was Michelob? Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Michelob, and then he used to do this funny thing with the owner of Steve Wynn at the Golden Nugget. It was an Atlantic City commercial. It used to run all the time, and because I was down there, I was down in Atlantic City, and I would watch, and I'd see Frank's people coming in and out, and I always knew about the 500 Club. But then they put this album out in about 1991, 1990. It was the reprise. It was called The Very Best, and it was Frank Sinatra's box set, and there was one CD that had all these songs on it, and they were all the reprise years. It was like, I mean, it wasn't "Come Fly With Me," but it was "The Way You Look Tonight." It was "Under My Skin." It was just, and I was just knocked out.
That's awesome. That is honestly the first time I've ever heard anybody say to me that their love of Frank Sinatra's music was inspired by a beer commercial. That is outstanding. And Matt Blaze has actually found this particular beer commercial. Dave Damiani, "This Is Your Life."
Wow.
Someday, when I'm awfully low, when the world is cold, I will feel a glow just thinking of you in the way you look tonight.
The night belongs to Michelob.
That is outstanding.
It's so great.
I don't think I've seen that, actually.
It's he's getting ready, and I think he's in there's a hotel room, and he's overlooking he's kind of overlooking the whole city. I'm not sure if it's in Vegas or Atlantic City, but it's just like it's sophisticated. It was so classy that the way he dressed, and it's a lifestyle. That music is a lifestyle. It's about class and sophistication, and I always love that.
That is outstanding. I love that too.
And also, I wanted to mention When Harry Met Sally. When that movie came out, when I saw that movie in the theater. That Harry Connick Jr. did all the stuff in the movie. It was on the soundtrack, and that was one of the first soundtracks that I got, and that was like incredible to me. It was mind-boggling when I heard him do that stuff.
That is wild. I love that. All right. Dave Damiani is my guest in studio. We're talking Sinatra, talking music in general. You know, you mentioned having spent some time in Atlantic City. I'm quite fond of Atlantic City. You kind of split your time now between Los Angeles and South Jersey, right?
That's right. My daughter's going to school at St. Joe's.
By the way, I love the song, the duet that you do with your daughter Mia on this album, Heart to Heart.
It's a Stevie Wonder tune. It was a big tune in our family, and my uncle passed away, and it used to be something that he used to play at all the Christmas parties. It was It's like the Damiani. We dance around and we play songs from the Key of Life, and that's one of them. And when he passed away, everybody, the whole family got around him, and they played the song till literally he took his last breath.
If you're just tuning in, I'm Frank Morano. This is The Other Side of Midnight. My guest is Dave Damiani. I got to spend some time with not only you, but your daughter, Mia, when Rachel and I were visiting Atlantic City on Friday. Let me ask you about this. Answer me honestly. So the next day, I got to meet your girlfriend, who was lovely and really nice. The next day, my wife said to me that there was a moment when I was trying to get your girlfriend's attention, and I was going to ask her if she wanted something from the bar or something. And according to my wife, I put my hand on her leg to kind of get her attention. Right. And according to Rachel, not only was Rachel not pleased, but your girlfriend had a look that I shouldn't have done that. Did she mention anything to you?
She did not mention it, no.
Yeah, okay, because I didn't think it was a big deal, but after 3 Negronis, maybe I wasn't.
You didn't say anything about her forehead, did you?
I saved that for the radio. Believe me, I saved that for the radio.
No, but no, it's all cool.
Yeah, right. No, I enjoyed meeting her and spending some time with Mia. She was terrific. A lot of folks don't think of South Jersey and the Jersey Shore, particularly anymore, as a place where glamour happens, as a place where high-value entertainment occurs. A lot of people think of Hollywood and Los Angeles that way, maybe New York, maybe Chicago. You don't hear that with respect to places like Atlantic City these days. You're very bullish on South Jersey, right? You're all about it.
I mean, first off, a lot of the great music of our time, a lot of it was from Atlantic City. A lot of it was from South Jersey. I mean, Summers Point had a history. That's where Bob Dylan put his band together. They just made a movie about Bob Dylan. They shot pretty much the whole thing in Cape May with Timothy Charlemagne. It's coming out in, I think, a couple weeks. There's so much cool stuff in Atlantic. I remember when I met Joe Piscopo for the first time, all I could think about was Wise Guys when they shot that down in Atlantic City with Captain Lou Albano and Harvey Keitel and Resorts International and the great Tony Orlando, who I know is on this station. I mean, he opened Resorts. There's a lot of cool stuff in Atlantic City, and it came from the 500 Club, Skinny D'Amato's Club, and all those great, and everybody played there. Club Harlem, I mean, back in the day. I mean, it's not like it was, but I think it's got a chance to come back and really be something because...
You mentioned our mutual friend, Joe Piscopo, and we're in November now, and this is right around the time when radio stations all over the country start changing their formats to wall-to-wall Christmas music. You have, it's a couple years old now, but you have a terrific Christmas duet that you did with Joe Piscopo, right?
Yeah.
What was that experience like?
It was great, and he was like, hey baby, how you doing, baby?
No, he was really into it.
He was really good, and he came down, and I came out to New York, and we just got a little studio, and I had the track recorded, and I said, man, I really want to do something like, where we play homage to the Bruce Springsteen Christmas Santa Claus is coming to town, but I also want to do, and I came up with the idea of doing the ding, 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 like the intro for,
Jingle Bells.
The Jingle Bells. Yeah. And he was really, really a gracious guy, really, really fun to work with. And I've gotten an opportunity to work with Joe, I don't know, 5, 6, maybe 7 times. And we always have a great time together.
I've seen you perform with Joe. That's always fun. I've also seen you perform with a lot of other older music legends, people like Bobby Rydell, no longer with us, and then a lot of younger, larger-than-life figures. I'm thinking Sal the Voice Valentinetti. I'm thinking of Haley Reinhart. One of, I think, your greatest skills, aside from songwriting and producing, and obviously singing is pretty important, but it's these collaborations that you've done with these great musicians and these great ensembles that you're able to put together with these shows, and you perform with the No Vacancy Orchestra. I'm imagining that takes quite a bit of work to find the right ingredients of different artists to blend together.
It's awesome, and I'm really lucky. I met Sal. He's a great friend, and we mutual friend of ours, and I got the opportunity over COVID because he was pretty depressed, we got together in Atlantic City. We met and we went to Girasol for dinner. And I said, let's make a record, man. Let's go. Let's take the time. Let's make a record. And I got to produce his album, and I got to produce some stuff for Haley and some other great artists. And that's been something that kind of got me through the pandemic when I wasn't really performing. And doing that and working with them, everybody has their thing. Everybody has their, like, Haley's she's a great performer, but she's a great singer of ballads, and Sal's a great entertainer. He's got such a great thing. So I try and take, 2 or 3 people, and I try and find some place that maybe I'm weak in and somebody else is strong in, and I try and put a show around, 3 or 4 people, so people get a wow, man. Because, sometimes you go see somebody and they sing all night, and it's a long show, and you're like, oh, okay, I like this, but I want a little variety. I like to see someone do 3 or 4 songs, then someone else come and do 3 or 4 songs, and then unless they're doing like a real show, but for me, it keeps it entertaining, especially when you're talking about today, where everybody's got the TikTok. Mm-hmm. You got to grab them in 10 seconds, or they kind of lose interest. So that's kind of been my idea, I guess.
No, I love that. I think that's really effective, and I don't think there's a performer with a more soulful voice than Haley Reinhart, and she's just terrific. Again, we're talking with Dave Damiani. You can check out his website, davedamiani.com. Hear a lot of his collaborations with these artists that we're talking about. By the way, for anyone listening in Las Vegas on K-Dawn to us right now, you're actually going to be performing in Las Vegas is on New Year's Eve?
Yeah, New Year's Eve, and I'm going to be there on the 27th and 28th, Friday and Saturday, and then I'll be off Sunday, Monday, and then the New Year's Eve will be at Vic's Jazz Club. It's right there. Oh my God, it's gorgeous. Right there in Symphony Park by the Smith Center, and the Loudon family, who are great friends, and they opened up this incredible jazz club, and they let me really do whatever I want in there. I sometimes bring a big band. I'll probably have an orchestra on New Year's Eve, and then Friday and Saturday have a trio.
That's outstanding. That's going to be a lot of fun. Anybody can go, or how does that work?
Anyone can go. You just got to go call up Vic's. And I don't think there's a cover on the weekend, but I think New Year's Eve they're going to have some sort of, because of New Year's Eve they're going to have some sort of thing.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can find options that fit your budget and potentially lower your bills. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
Mic check. 1, 2. Are we recording? Hi, I'm Michelle Bernstein, an award-winning chef, restaurateur, and mom. I have a lot on my plate, including my psoriatic arthritis symptoms. That's why I was prescribed Cosentyx. It helps me move better.
Cosentyx secukinumab is prescribed for people 2 years of age and older with active psoriatic arthritis. Don't use if you're allergic to Cosentyx. Before starting, get checked for tuberculosis. An increased risk of infections and lowered ability to fight them may occur, like tuberculosis or other serious bacterial, fungal, or viral infections. Some were fatal. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms like fevers, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, had a vaccine or plan to, or if inflammatory bowel disease symptoms develop or worsen. Serious allergic reactions and severe eczema-like skin reactions may occur. Learn more at 1-844-COSENTYX or Cosentyx.com.
Ask your rheumatologist about Cosentyx.
Acura's all-new ADX, a compact SUV that isn't just built for one thing. It's precision-crafted for everything. To escape the grind with available all-wheel drive. To go with your flow with available Google built-in.
Hey Google, turn it up.
Okay, turning up the volume. And crafted to be heard with an available Bang & Olufsen premium sound system. The all-new Acura ADX, crafted to match your energy. Acura, precision-crafted performance.
Take your vibes and go, 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 go.
Google is a trademark of Google LLC.
You have this throwback style which used to apply to the music of the 50s and the 60s. Now it apparently applies to the music of the 80s and the 90s. Is there a favorite style of music that you enjoy performing, or you're all over the place?
I love the big band stuff. I really do, and I want to draw people to that.
Mm-hmm.
And because once they find it, listen. Anytime anyone comes to one of my shows, they love it. They say, "Wow, this is really cool. I love seeing this big band." It's just getting them there, and I think this music is going to be a nice transitional gateway to get people in. Like there's a Hall & Oates tune on here. There's a Paul Simon song on here. There's some great songs that are songs from our culture, but they're not as old as the standards, but they're standards. They're standards, and I like anything. I like who used to say this? I think Duke Ellington used to say there's only two types of music. There's good music and bad music. So I like everything, but I really do. I've always loved anything that Quincy Jones has ever done, whether it was George Benson or Michael Jackson or James Ingram or Ray Charles. I just love anybody that worked with him that has that. He just had that magic touch. He knew how to make stuff swing and feel good. Sinatra.
You're doing a radio show now, which is terrific. You're heard regularly on WOND in Atlantic City station. We're very proud to be on as well. You did a terrific show a couple of months ago featuring the Sinatra family. Very rare thing that you ever hear them do on radio these days. Even that's the kind of thing maybe they would do twice a year on the Seriously Sinatra satellite channel. Not the kind of thing that you would see them doing on a local radio show. Tell me about that. How did your relationship with the Sinatra family develop to the point that they're doing these kind of exclusive interviews with you? I was envious.
Well, in 2015, that was the Sinatra 100th anniversary, and I was running around Los Angeles the year before trying to do something on his birthday, and I got to meet Charlie Pignon, and he really liked, and Johnny Mandel, who wrote Shadow of Your Smile, the guy who helped me engineer my album, was friends with Johnny Mandel, and Johnny Mandel loved the album. So he invited me over to his house, and I got to meet Johnny Mandel. I never met Quincy, but I met him briefly, but never really hung with him. I met him like in an event, and I said hello, and wow. But Mandel loved it, and he said to me, "You got to keep doing this." And then he gave me a write-up, and then I told Charlie Pignon when I met him that Johnny Mandel really liked my album, and he took it and he started playing it on Sirius. And then they had an event. I wanted to do a Sinatra 100 event because I was working at the Grove. And Sinatra book had come out, and I kind of coordinated this thing where I wanted to do a book signing and a concert, and they gave me a nice budget, and Johnny Mandel agreed to come, and then somebody hooked me up with George Benson, and I actually got George Benson to come and sing Shadow of Your Smile for Sinatra, and Tina came, and I got Jane Monheit, and I got Renee Olstead, and Landau Murphy Jr., and it turned out to be like... It's like when they say, you got made, or somebody gave you a chance. That was one of those breaks I got in life, and they've been so great to me ever since, and they've always supported me.
That's great.
And they play me, and I get to
love that. That's great.
And I love them. And Tina's been great, and Charlie, and the whole family.
That is outstanding. I know you are leaving our radio station right now, and you are going off to the airport. Where are you going?
I'm going to San Diego. There's an incredible new hotel. It's like one of the top 5 hotels in the country. It's called the Lafayette Hotel. It was restored from like the early 1900s. Ava Gardner stayed there, and everybody. It's a gorgeous place. It's like the Beverly Hills Hotel. And there's a new room there called Lulu's Jungle Room that literally looks like something out of Mambo Kings. It's from like the 1950s and 60s. It's just everything in this place is exquisite.
That's great.
I'll be doing that Thursday, and then Saturday I'll be at SeaWorld in San Diego. I'm doing an event there, singing, and then I'll be back.
You're not performing like with the whales or
not
anything?
with the whales.
Okay,
No, not with the whales. But I'll be doing like some holiday music and stuff for the corporate. It's a corporate party, and then I come back, and then on the 26th of November I'll be in Philadelphia at Chris's Jazz Cafe.
I'm exhausted just listening to your travel schedule.
It is a lot. It is a lot.
My goodness, that's great. Good for you. I tell you, David, I've always been impressed with your energy, your fondness for the Great American Songbook, your ability to put different collaborators together, your ability at times to deal with egos, which can be very challenging, and overall your attitude. I really appreciate you coming in. I hope people check out the new album, Heart to Heart. They can get it at davedamiani.com.
Thanks so much, Frank.
Thank you, Dave Damiani. My favorite. Love this one.
It's pure AC, baby.
When the sun starts to shine, leave your worries behind. Down the coastline is where I'll be. On the boardwalk in a cart, resorts is where we start. It's where I left my heart. It's AC. Either docks or Irish pub. Head to White House for a sub. Tony's got the late night grub. Past 3, sneak into a lifeguard stand. Watch the sunrise from the sand. We'll hold each other's hand in AC.